Sup? The name's Andre. I'm back with another video. In this video, I'm going to mention the 13 cursive words. And I'm going to speak the truth about them. So I'm going to expose another lie that we heard about when it comes to, what they say, cussing words. The 13 bad words. Now, saying bad words is not a sin. Yep, despite popular belief of the world system. Yeah, one of the lies I'm exposing in this video is the 13 bad words are not a sin. And it's not a curse. All it is discipline in the form of words. That's it. Discipline in the form of words. That's why it sounds harsh in nature. Yeah. When people say shit, damn, fuck, or any of that, that is not wrong. All that is just discipline in the form of words. Words that sound harsh is just a discipline energy in the form of words. So, yep. So I have to expose a popular culture belief. So what they call cursing words or bad words is not a sin. Yep, you gotta understand, the government lies through the churches, media, all the public places. They lie to people that think they try to paint a certain narrative. Majority of humans on Earth don't know what sin is. Y'all keep mispronouncing it or thinking it means something else. No. Sin, it means evil, but not everything is evil. Like they have you believe. They make you think that anything could be evil. See, no, that couldn't be further from the truth. Y'all just been lied to you. They say this stuff just to complicate life. To confuse y'all, to have y'all think that you're bad just for existing. They don't want. Yeah, they have to have you think a certain way just so you won't know the truth about yourself. They don't want you to know the difference between the humans who are good and the humans who are bad. So they want you to believe every human's bad. Exactly. So get out of that mindset, man, because you're going to complicate life just by thinking certain things are bad. That was never bad. So anyway, now I'm going to mention the truth about bad words. Shit, damn, fuck. The fuck? Or you know how people use them in their phrases. All they are is just discipline in the form of words. That's it. Yeah. What does cursing actually mean? It's when you say if you say to a person, I hope you die. That's cursing. There's a time and place for everything. There's a time when you're supposed to be harsh on somebody. And there's a time when you're not supposed to be harsh on them. It goes both ways. You must be kind but strong. You must be willing to discipline on a whim. You can't let people walk over you, or you know what I'm saying. People don't know the real definition for sin. For example, I'm gonna try to make it easier to understand. Okay. Now, when someone hurts someone for no reason, just because they can, is that a sin? Yeah. Now, if someone hurts someone out of revenge because they killed someone of theirs, is that a sin? Nope. That's righteous revenge. There's a good and bad version of everything. There's good revenge and there's bad revenge. There's let me see here. There's good pride, there's bad pride. I'm just telling you how simple life is. It's really just the two sides. The religious system complicates everything. For example, they will say pride is a sin in general. No, it's not. It's talking about the bad pride. When it comes to a sinful pride, it's talking about the bad pride. The bad pride is pride in the fake self that you invented just to fit in with the world system because you're ashamed of your true self. Now that's the bad pride. The good pride is confidence in your true self. You're proud of your true self. That's the pride that the source, the creator, loves. That's the good pride. But because y'all brainwashing, y'all think pride itself is a sin. See, y'all brainwashed, man. No, it's not. See, so because y'all are thinking a lot of things are sins, y'all would literally think everybody's a sinner. Y'all would think everything is bad. Y'all will think it's harder to not be a sinner. Y'all have been lied to, man. Sin isn't complicated like that. It's not in everything like you think, how you've been taught in churches. There are people who literally do not sin, and there are people who do sin. It goes both ways. Yeah, and it's easy. You people are brainwashed by the churches, man. Don't you realize the things you say makes no sense? For example, you're literally saying even with God's help, you can't help but sin. Even with God's help, you cannot help but sin. That makes no sense because if you truly had God in your life, you wouldn't be sinning. It's that easy. Or shall I say, if you truly know God, you wouldn't have sinned because God can clear all sin. You remember that? But y'all don't even believe that yourselves. Y'all are literally saying that even with God in your life, you still can't help but sin. Do you realize how stupid that sounds? Y'all literally are brainwashed by the churches. Y'all think everything is sin. Sin is not all powerful. Sin is not everything. Get out of that deceptive mentality, because you're going to be complicating your life, and you will get more curse, and bad luck just by having that mentality. Because anybody who doesn't know the real truth don't know the real God. It's connected. That's the reality. So y'all think y'all know the creator or have a bond with him, but no, y'all don't, because y'all don't know the complete truth. Y'all only go by what y'all taught in the churches, the media, the world system. Y'all are brainwashed, man. Get out of that shit. So, now anyway, back to what I was saying about the 13 bad words. Those words are not sin to say. Those are just discipline in the form of words. Like crap, shit, all of that. Yeah. All those are, it's just words, literally. It's just words. Like everything, there's a good and bad version of everything. Anything can be used for good or bad. So just be aware how simple life really is, how easy life is, how easy it is not to sin. The people who sin are bad, that's why they sin. The people who don't sin are good, that's why we don't sin. Because not sinning is the opposite of a sinner. A good is the opposite of bad. There's no both. Yep. By nature and existence, one side controls the other. Peace controls chaos. Good controls bad. Bad is not equal to good. Neither is bad above good. Bad is meant to be controlled by good. Chaos exists as a controlled substance. Chaos was designed to be controlled fully. She has no rights of her own. She's designed to be controlled. She's not meant to be equal to the peace or above the peace. It doesn't work like that. And the chaos knows her place. That's why any female in existence that's in their right place, that's why they're at their happiest and they're most complete. Because that's what they're designed for. That's why y'all long for that secretly, deep down. Of course, you're not going to tell the public that, because y'all lie to the public. What y'all say and what y'all respond to are two different things. Yeah, you females know your true nature, but y'all are lied to, and y'all lie to the public. Y'all will pretend that, oh, I'm good, but yet, you're just saying that to put face. Just put face, That's why y'all feel the need to make videos to talk about stuff to the world, because you always care what the world thinks. But then again, it is your nature. But anyway, the point is, females, which are the embodiment of the ego counterpart within a man, the shadow mind. Yeah, chaos, evil was created to be fully controlled. What they say in church too, evil was not meant to exist. No, it was meant to exist. That's why the creator made it. Evil, the true identity of evil is to be controlled fully by your P side. Your Y chromosome controls your X chromosome. Yeah, that's the reality. So evil is meant to be controlled, not given equal rights or anything. Because what it does, it becomes unbalanced. Because evil wasn't designed for that. So yeah. I just wanted to speak to reality within this video. So remember, folks, stop complicating, life. Stop lying about what's a sin and not sin. Like, for example, there's so many things that the church has called sin that was never sin. That I still never sin, but many people think it's sin. Yep, like lust. Lusting is not a sin. There's a good lust, there's a bad lust. Everything has a good and bad version of everything. Lusting in general is not a sin. Now let's see. Pride isn't a sin. Let me see. Let's see, what else? Killing isn't a sin. There's the righteous kill. Then there's the murder. Murder is a bad version of kill. Murdering is when a person murders somebody, kills somebody innocent. That's called murder. And the opposite of murder, the good version of kill, is when a person kills someone out of defense. Or a righteous judgment. Yeah, that right there is the good kill. See? I'm trying to make it easy to understand. Good people and bad people, the only difference between good people and bad people, good is superior to bad. So that's why when a bad person wants to kill, they're violent, but when a good person kills, a good person is worse than a bad person, because good person, everything they do is based off righteousness, while bad, everything they do is based off evil. So this is why good is superior to evil, why bad is weaker. Like if a good person fights a warrior fight against a bad person, the reason why the good person always wins against a bad person when it comes to a fair fight, a one-on-one, is because of the fact that good by nature is stronger than bad. Yeah. That's just how it is. So this is why the world system want to weaken us and don't want us to know ourselves, because it's a tactic to weaken us, so they, just enough so they can kill, basically. Because bad beings want to kill, living beings for no reason, because they're bad. That's what a sin looks like. So I'm just letting y'all know, man. Get out of that. Stop like people in the world complicating life. This is why the creator doesn't talk to most of y'all, because y'all can't know him fully. If you're brainwashed. I mean, this is the truth. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So I mentioned that, yeah, the 13 bad words is just words. Yeah, have nothing to do with sin. So just be aware of that. The only way not to be deceived by any of our enemies in this world system is you must be in sync with the source at all times. And it's actually easy. You just have to be aware. That's it. Yeah, like just what is life about? Life's about just living life, being yourself. That's it. Literally, that's it. It couldn't be any more easy. You people are just so brainwashed, so dim-witted, man. You guys think everything is sin. You guys think everything is sin. So y'all can't see that there are people who don't sin because y'all are thinking that everybody's a sin by default. It's sinner by default. Born into sin is a lie made up by the enemies, the Catholic Church. There's no such thing as born into sin. There are people who are good. There are people who are bad. Sinner is another term for bad person. Non-sinner is another term for good person. There are people who don't sin. There are people who do sin. But the churches will never tell you that because the churches work for the government. The Christians lie to the population, the masses on earth. And they try to recruit more people to deceive. And then they'll train those people to be disciples and then deceive more people and bring them into their ranks. That's the reality. So, yeah. That's why they see everybody as a sinner. Because they don't know the real definition of the sinner. They've been lied to. So I have to expose things. You gotta understand the Bible has been tampered with too. So, just to support the lie. When the Bible has been transferred to different languages, and as they keep updating the Bible, they're trying to add more lies into it. Because those people that's trying to corrupt the holy book have no shame. They're trying to make things, they're trying to make the truth harder to find. So, yeah, the internet was created by our brother, because it was designed to give every information possible. We live in the computer age, the information age, and the creator designed it that way on purpose. So that way, there'd be no excuse not to know something. People, you gotta research things yourself. You have to think for yourself. Critical thinking is where it starts. You can't just go along with what we've been conditioned growing up. You have to realize for yourself and think for yourself. Otherwise, you will be brainwashed. So, anyway, that's why I made this video. In this video, I'm spreading awareness in that area. That not everything is sin. Y'all complicate life because y'all have been brainwashed by the Christians. All the false teachers in existence, Christianities are the worst religion of all the religions. I mean, all the religions lie, but Christianity is the worst. It has people the most deceived on earth. The majority, broad is the way to just narrow is only a few find it. Narrow is the path of life. Only a few find it. You know why? Because broad is the way to destruction. And majority of people on earth right now, currently, are Christian. Exactly. Majority of them are Christian. Yep. So that means broad is the way to destruction. So that's why many of them think they're saved or think they know God, but they don't. And that's why they think that they're a sinner. Think everybody's a sinner. Well, they think they're a sinner by default. There are bad ones, but see, the good ones would think they're sinners and does not know their true self and does be disconnected from God, the true self within, because they don't know the reality of how things really are. So therefore, they can't know the Creator. That's just how it is. This is why the enemies want us to be deceived and brainwashed. Because if we knew the truth, then we can't be deceived by any of their lies or tactics. Not even the AI videos that they make, the fake videos. Yeah, we won't be able to deceive by anything because we'll be in tune with the source, and we'll know the truth by default, and we'll be able to read people. We can tell who's telling the truth or lying. Bad people can't do anything they want to us. Like basically, anyone that had desire to want to set us up to trap us, the source will get rid of them from a distance, so we never have to worry about being in danger. And the only time we beat someone up is when the source delivers them. Basically, if the source wants us to beat them up, then it will just happen that way. It doesn't matter what training they be, you will just be stronger by default. So I'm just letting you know, those who the source is with, we're protected fully. We're not worried about anything because we trust the source, our power, the self, ourself, myself, me. Yeah, the me within me, exactly. So don't get it confused, people. You're here to be yourself, and you're here to trust yourself. But the only way to be connected with your true self, and you must be aware of your true self. You must not be deceived by the lies of the world system. Because the enemies within the world system are based off our chaos side within us, which we control. Just like we control our chaos side, we must control the chaos outside of ourselves, too. The habits around us. But it's shown differently outside of us, differently from how we control within us. On the outside of us, in order to control the chaos outside of us, is by ignoring the existence of the chaos outside of us, because everything that happens in the existence, the universe, is really trying to get our attention. Yep, no matter what form it comes in, or if there's no form, it's just, it's like the whole environment acting out, the environment, wherever you're at, your surroundings, the building, you could be in a building haunted house. You could be outside somewhere in a park or a library, and things happen around you randomly. There's not always have to be an explanation. The reason why all that happens is because that's chaos trying to get your attention. So in order to win against chaos outside of you, you must not react to it. You must have no fear. You must ignore it. Because anytime that happens in reality, that's just chaos outside of you trying to get attention. But how do you show you control the chaos outside of you? Just like you control the chaos inside of you, it's by not acknowledging the existence of that chaos. And then that chaos outside of you, that entity will have no choice but to not do anything else. Because she's not getting what she wants, your attention. So yeah. Ooh, so I'm just letting you know, people. Life is really simple, man. Y'all have to get out of that brainwashing, man. Y'all have to wake up, man, because y'all think everything is just easily bad or you're eternally sick and there's nothing that can be done about it. Y'all been lied to. Yeah. Ooh, you gotta understand. Yeah. Yeah, there's no telling how many stories they tamper with in the Bible, but I'll tell you this. In order to know the full truth by yourself is you have to research yourself. You have to think for yourself. That's it. For example, I said this in one of my past videos, like one of the things they tamper with in the Bible, when I'm gonna mention one of them. When he said to Adam, it's not good for man to be alone, therefore I'll make him a woman. That's a lie. They changed that to fit the feminist agenda. It could basically would have said in the original language that you see how the animals reproduce? I'm gonna make a woman from your loins, so that way you reproduce the same way. That's what he said. This explains why a man has a nature to where women have nothing to do with our nature. We can do with or without them, while women cannot exist without us, because they're made for us. This is why when they're taken out of us, this is why all females are the same. They get lonely. They can't exist without male attention. They need male attention constantly, because they are the ones that can't be alone without us. While we men, to us, females are just an option. We can exist without them. Why? Because they're the ones that come from us. We put our seed in them too. And our baby that grows in us, yeah, we create the baby. She births it. Big difference. So I'm just letting you know, people. Oh yeah, so I mentioned that part of the Bible that's been tampered with because I want you to understand that some things in the Bible aren't true. But there are still truth in the Bible. You just have to think for yourself and see what you know is true. So I'll say this though. Yeah, just please, man. Like just look within yourself and think and be like, was I conditioned to believe certain things or did I choose to believe on my own? Or was I just yeah. You have to wake up, man. Yeah. Religions use music a lot to try to sway the human soul because music has the power to sway the soul. So that's why they play music in church and like a circus or, people dance like circus people and all crazy. Like, yeah. You don't have to do all that to show your love, the true self. Just be yourself. That's it. It's that simple. Because faith is, what the Bible people say, faith is actually an action word. Just trusting in self is actually action itself. And it's shown based off your actions. You know what I'm saying? On the outside, to other people when they see your actions. Of course, there will always be people who want to, like lie on you and all that. Don't worry about that. They're just part of the chaos that surrounds us outside of us. So, like I said, chaos will manifest in many ways to try to get our attention. Just don't fall for her tactic, Yeah. So anyway, understand, people. Things in the Bible has been tampered with, but there's still truth in there. You just have to determine that for yourself. What else? Because originally the Bible speaks for itself, Also, you don't need someone to read it to you, Also, yeah. So, also, research history if you want, but also, the real history, not where they try to force feed you. Like, find out what's real and true. But that starts with thinking for yourself. The world system, man, is designed to keep the masses brainwashed because they benefit from us in many ways, just from us not being aware as a nation of people, Because even though they target our people first, that they call black, they're targeting everyone who's not part of their governments or world leaders of the world system. Yeah, they're saying, okay, it's not just blacks we're gonna brainwash. Anyone who's not part of us, whether they're our own people or whether they're other nations or the blacks who are our main target, we're gonna have them all be brainwashed. That's actually what they're doing. So I'm letting you know the people that run this world system. So yeah, man. So just be aware, people. It's easy not to be deceived, but you just have to think for yourself. That's it. Because like I said, the real creator have nothing to do with the churches. The churches are phony, false. Yeah. Yeah, church going to church on Sunday is pagan in itself. That's worshiping the sun god. You're not supposed to give credit to the creation, only the creator within you. You know, ironically, it's still yourself, you know, within you, like your true self. But once you recognize yourself, you will know that you're that same creator. So that's why you say, oh yeah, of course I'm for me. Yeah, say, I'll just say I love me. I love me. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be, because that's the reality. But in order to be aware of that, you have to not be brainwashed. That's all I can say. Like, people think self-love is a sin. See, how ridiculous is that? You're supposed to love yourself, otherwise you can't survive. Exactly. Ooh, yeah, and people are not entitled to your love. You're not supposed to show kindness to everybody, just like you're not supposed to show evil to anybody. There are people you're supposed to discipline and be harsh on. Then there are people you're not supposed to be disciplined or harsh on. But a lot of people would be disciplined, try to discipline people just to feel powerful, you know, just to have an ego boost, or just yeah. But you have to discipline people when they need it, not just to do it to give yourself an ego boost. That's when it's a sin. Yeah. Yeah. So, cause people really confuse good and bad. Like, they don't even know the real definition. Like, yeah, the reason why the enemies don't want us to know what good, you know, and they don't want us to know the reality of the energies, because they want the good people to think the only way they can be good is by being weak. Basically, they want us to love our enemies, which is also a lie that they told you about too. Love your enemies, basically allow them to punch you, attack you, poison you, you know, say things shit to you, and just say I love you still. You see how dumb that is? That's unnatural. Like, that's not how the creator designed it. You're not supposed to love your enemies. When they say love your enemies, okay, that was tampered with too. Originally, let's see here. Before it was changed to English, right? Like, this is what it said originally too. When it says love those who hate you, Yahweh Shai, who the world system, well, it's been replaced with the word Jesus, right? He actually said, he was talking about within your own nation, within your own people. He wasn't talking about your enemies, who are not your people, or who are not one of you. Yeah. Even if they're not your people or the same species, like, there are people who are just evil, you know, and those are the people that you're supposed to avoid. And they come your way, you kill or avoid. Yeah, because, you know, they only come to kill, steal, and destroy. So the only two things you do with your enemies is when they attack, when they're dumb enough or brave enough to attack you, then yeah, that's when you beat the shit out of them or kill them. When they don't, and they use tactics to try to set you up and all that, just simply avoid them. Yeah. And what else? Oh yeah, so when it says love those who hate you, it's talking about the people within your nation. Don't let people who's negative make you negative. Yeah. Just simply people who are, so basically what I'm talking about people who are born good but became bad. By being spiritually in tune, you should be able to tell who's naturally good and who's naturally bad. People who are born bad must be avoided. Yeah, they're not the ones you're supposed to love. Yeah, but people who are good and who become bad, you're supposed to help them get back to the righteous path by being kind to them, even when they're mean. But it doesn't mean you discipline them. Basically, if they go far as to try to hit you, then you hit them back, because that's called discipline. Yeah. Realistically, you're not supposed to let anybody hit you. Like, yeah, and if someone says something back with just words alone, they say you're a shit, and then you say to them, bless you. Yeah, you know, like, say, I know you feel that way. You know, for example, they say you're shit. Just say, I know you feel that way, but hey, I don't think anything wrong against you. Yeah, but that only applies to people who can tell who's born good and bad, because not everybody can read spirit energy. Most people seem to be blind to it, so basically y'all won't be able to tell the difference between someone who's naturally good but became bad and someone who's born bad. Someone who's born bad is bad by default, and they're just that way by nature. Their DNA is written that way, so they're naturally evil. So those people that you avoid, they can't be changed. They're only here for a bad purpose. Then when it comes to people who are born going to become bad, then those are the people that you still have a chance to, you know, bring them back to the side of good. But it doesn't mean you let them, you know, overrun you. You discipline them when they deserve it, and then you tell them why, and you know what I'm saying. You explain why so they understand, and like I said, but only if you want to as well. Like, everyone's responsible for their own actions. So even if someone was born good, you know, and became bad, it doesn't mean you have to say them automatically or all the time. It depends on what you choose to do at any moment, you know. There's people, like I said, yeah, realistically everyone's responsible for their actions. So people aren't entitled to our hope. That goes for anybody, good or bad. So just be aware of that. So yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about in the video. So the reality of what's not sin and what's sin. so people can lead an easy life and not be brainwashed by Christianity, Jehovah's Witnesses, Muslims, Seventh-day Adventists, all the religions that work for the world powers that exist, that to brainwash the masses. Get out all the lies, understand the reality, Stop thinking that evil is unnatural, it's not supposed to be part of the world. Yes, it is. Evil is chaos itself that's supposed to be controlled. So that explains the evil within people. We're not bad because of that. It's just the part of us that's supposed to be controlled. It's the chaos. Our chaos is based off of God's chaos, which is the universal chaos I told you about. God's chaos counterpart, which is the ego counterpart of God. God is also called the void, or the original unconscious. He's the source, and he's where his self-awareness counterpart comes out of. And just like all reality comes from the void. So anyway, the chaos counterpart likes to try sentient beings in existence, and she does things to try to get us to acknowledge her. So that's why I say don't fall for that. Think of it as a test, yeah. Because you win when you don't acknowledge her, no matter what she does in your surrounding. If you hear a boom, or you feel spirits, bad spirits running crazy in a certain area, or some spirits visit you in a dream trying to get you to freak out and all that. Don't acknowledge existence no matter what. You will become stronger from that. Yeah. That's basic chaos trying to get your attention. And that's the universal chaos, which is what our inner chaos is based off of. So, yeah, the universal evil, which is what our inner evil is based off of. The inner evil is part of our makeup, why we exist. If we didn't have that part of us, then our existence wouldn't be complete. Exactly, see? So people don't know what evil really is. I'm keeping it real, because the churches won't tell you that. They'll say, oh, evil is something that's not supposed to exist. No, that's a lie. It was created to exist, and it's meant to exist. Evil is just meant to be fully controlled. That's it. It's not supposed to be equal to your first mind within you. Your second mind within you is supposed to be beneath your first mind. It's not supposed to be equal to it or above it. That's when a man's unbalanced. That's when a man is evil, because he hasn't controlled his second mind, also known as the ego, or the self-awareness counterpart, or what else is known as the shadow mind. Yeah. The shadow mind is supposed to be controlled by your first mind. The KNOW mind, the KNOW, the dark, the source, yeah. So just think of it. Every human represents all of reality. We're offended of it. We have the same parts that reality have outside of us. So, but a lot of people just don't recognize it. So, evil is supposed to be controlled. It's not supposed to be given equal treatment or above. The peace is supposed to be controlled by the peace fully. That's the purpose of evil. So, while the peace is meant to be the peace, we're supposed to be ourself. Yeah, but we can only be balanced by controlling the inner chaos, which is also called the ego counterpart, or emotion counterpart, or the motivation counterpart, or the feminine side within the man. Because you gotta understand, women come from men. That's why they're called double X, because women are a half. They're half of us, while a man is the complete. Another term for man is complete, because we're the whole. This is why we can exist with without women, while women cannot exist without us. If there's no male to give them attention, they'll die. While a man can exist with or without female attention, it's just a double with us. Like, we can exist with or without it. If there's no female around, it won't affect us. We'll still be ourselves. If there's a female around us, it won't affect us. We'll still be ourselves. Why can we have it both ways? Because they come from us. So loneliness don't exist with men. The only men who are lonely are the men who are brainwashed by the world system to think like a woman. Any man that's controlled by his emotion side, another term for his shadow mind, his ego side, the second mind within him, he thinks like a woman. He's conditioned to think like a woman. So he's unbalanced. So any man unbalances himself when he's not fully aware. Yeah, when he's not controlling his chaos within him. In order to be perfectly balanced, in order to be perfect, the real definition of perfect that most people don't know about, in order to be perfect, which is actually easy, mind you, you must have your first mind above your second mind. Your peace, your void mind, which is beyond your thought, which is your light mind, and your imagination, which is your wisdom mind. Yeah, because see, the peace mind within you, the silence, the void, is beyond your ego mind, which is the shadow mind, your thought mind, the ability to think, which is your light mind, and your wisdom mind, the ability to imagine the shapes and the forms. Yeah, the peace is above all of that. So, in order to be perfectly in balance, your peace mind must be above your shadow mind. And by nature, the light mind and the wisdom mind are perfectly in place. So, yeah, you don't have to worry about them, since wisdom and the light are children of the dark and the shadow. Yep. The light also called the word, and the wisdom also called the origin of shape and forms. Imagination. So yeah. So So just be aware. So it's really within you. It's the dark that should be above the shadow, because the light and the wisdom part within us is already in their place, regardless of how we. Yeah. It's only the dark and the shadow that changes when a person is either unbalanced or balanced. So yeah. Just remember, every man throughout history, what they all have in common, who's evil, right? Any man who's evil thinks like a woman, because a woman is the embodiment of that evil part of us. They're the embodiment of evil. That's why a woman is only perfect in the size creator when she's fully controlled by her male counterpart, man. When she's fully controlled, submissive, soft-spoken. That ain't weak. That's just what they are. They're supposed to be. But females have been lied to about what they are. They think yeah. So that's why they behave the way they do in this world system, and that's why they're all kinds of bad luck and stuff is happening to them, and why they're being universally punished, because they're not being what they're meant to be. Fully controlled by her male counterpart. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say in this video. So remember that, man. Every man who's evil is controlled by his emotion, his second mind. That's why he's unbalanced, or he puts his emotion equal to his first mind, which is why he's unbalanced. His emotion must be under his first mind fully, in order for him to be perfectly balanced. That's the reality for how a man to be good and have no evil, not to be considered a sinner. Yeah, to not be a sinner. Yeah. He has to be in balance, like I said. So I'm just letting you know. So that's the only way for a man to be fully balanced, is by being fully in tune. By being fully aware and not deceived by the system, and so that way you will know the truth within yourself. So yeah. So yeah, and throughout history, any man who's evil thinks like a woman. That's what they all have in common. They think with their emotion. Yeah, They're yeah. So a man is unbalanced when it's two ways. When his emotion is above his source mind, or his emotion is equal to his source mind. But when so he's unbalanced. So basically, he's unbalanced when his source mind and emotion mind are equal, But then when this emotion mind is above his source mind, then he's even worse. Yeah. That means he's fully controlled by the evil side instead of controlling the evil side. Yeah. But when his source mind, another term for peace mind is above his evil mind, shadow mind, chaos mind, ego mind, all the terms is known as. Emotion mind, emotions, then that means that man is perfectly balanced. He's perfect. He's being perfect. He's being his true self. So yeah, and that's the reality. This is why society tries to brainwash men from birth, because they don't want us to be aware of our true nature, because then they can't manipulate us, and they need us to be weakened. Which the only way to do that is condition us to think with our emotion, which is put our emotion within us and basically put our emotion on top or equal to our logic mind. Let them both be equal or above. They don't want it. They don't want it to be the source above the emotion, the chaos. Yeah, they don't want that. So because they want us to be brainwashed. That's why they condition us from birth. Society. Why do you think society attacks men so hard from birth, like shit on men and all that, and disrespect men and males and all that? Because that's called feminizing men. They're trying to get us to think with our emotion side instead of our logic side. Our first mind. So they want us to be unbalanced because it fits the enemy's agenda. Yeah, they need us to be unbalanced, so we'll give them energy without realizing it. Because they want to suck our life energy. So in order to do that, they have to keep us brainwashed. That's why they condition us to help females, try to condition us to also help females for free, since they're used by the system against the common man. So they condition us to want to help out females for free. In reality, a man was never meant to give females free strength, free energy, not even a glance. You're not supposed to give them attention for free. Originally, that's how it's meant to be. Otherwise, they become spoiled. See, it's unbalanced, man. Yeah. So, yeah, there's so many things to talk about. But yeah, that's all I'll mention in this video. Well, I think the creator made a way for every man to enjoy females online. So that way, we'll be anonymous to the females, and they will know which man is looking at her. And thus, you're not giving her free energy, because in order to, because when you look at them in public, you're giving them attention, and they're saying, and they love who's looking at them. Doesn't matter if you're handsome, you're ugly, you're everything in between. Females want males to constantly look at them, but you're not supposed to do that. Yeah, it is written, do not give your strength unto women, to that which is the destroy of kings. Yeah. You're not supposed to. They're not entitled to our help. It has nothing to do with a real man. That's a lie by society. Yeah, a man have nothing to do with helping a woman or not. That's a lie. A man have everything to do with just being himself. A man's a man just by existing. That's it. It has nothing to do with anyone else. I'd see. Hey, I have to speak to reality, so just be aware of that, men out there. Otherwise, you're going to keep being brainwashed and taken advantage of. So, anyway, that's the reality. So, that's the end of this video. Peace.